for your Thursday morning yoga class here on Zoom and Facebook Live. So let's see, today our physical focus is going to be on upper body strength. So sometimes we think building upper body strength takes weights, and there is nothing wrong with moving some weights around, but we can also build upper body strength with yoga by using our body weight as the resistance. So we'll play with that a little bit. And then we'll also have some inspiring thoughts. I'm reading this book called Infectious Generosity, which I would highly recommend. It's very easy read, but also really inspiring with the stories. And I read a line in it this morning, and I thought that maybe it would speak to some of you. And the line was, "Humanity is not defined by the evil done by a few. It is defined by the goodness done by the majority." And I think that is so true. Most people are really, really good, and you probably can think of times in your own life where you've had the luck of the random acts of kindness of strangers. Maybe it was with a flat tire, or you got lost or whatever, but people are, for the huge majority, really good, and all want to help each other. So I like to remember that, especially when the news just wants to tell you about the few that are maybe not as kind and generous. So go ahead and get yourself situated. Take a few deep breaths. Maybe go ahead and close your eyes as we take these mindful moments here to start our practice. We do this for a few reasons: to calm the busy mind and to kind of arrive here in the body. A time to set everything else aside for this practice. This practice of being present with mind and body. Go ahead and, as you settle, notice what's going on in your external environment. Maybe that's smells or sounds. If your eyes are open, maybe it's still sight. And then what's going on in your internal environment? Maybe there's an ache or a pain, something that's speaking to you, a tightness, a rumbling in your tummy, a tightness of the heart. Body speaks through sensation. But sometimes in a sensation we can find an emotion. And sometimes it's just because we were shoveling snow or weeding the garden. I've been reading also for you guys this year of living your yoga, and for today, February 13th, is "When I'm resisting, I am suffering." Resisting life is the root of all suffering. If you feel agitated, sad, or afraid today, ask yourself, what am I resisting? So, we often talk about in yoga letting go, being in the flow. Sometimes when we do that, life surprises us with something even better than what we expected. I often find this to be true. The kind of person who likes to plan and control and figure out the best option. Sometimes life has other plans. Can you let go? Can you quit resisting? Following a few more breaths here in the silence. Before we begin our practice. Let us inhale and exhale. 2 more times before we open our eyes. We inhale, lifting the crown of our head, and exhale, letting all the resistance go, being here now. We inhale and exhale. And with that next inhale, we open our eyes and lift our arms to the sky, both arms up. And then on the exhale, we're going to tip just gently to the right. So we're starting here, noticing that the resistance is gravity as we hold both arms parallel and just tip a little over to the side. We don't need the resistance of body weight yet because we're just using gravity. Engaging core and arms and shoulders, all of it, to hold this position. Knowing again, you can always just do one arm at a time by putting one down if that works better for your body. Inhale back up, and then let's just gently tip to the other side. We're just starting, so you don't need to get crazy on how far you tip. You'll know where it is. Just kind of tip, parallel hands, arms. Fingertips are together, reaching out so that the arm muscles are engaged. Arms are as close to your ears as you can get them. And back up. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, let's bring those arms straight out to the side. We're going to start with making little circles to the front. So our palms are facing down, as if your middle finger is a marker and you're drawing circles and slowly making them bigger, 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 bigger. Woo, till it feels like we're flying bigger and bigger and bigger, these big spirals. Woo, and then right where you feel like you're touching the earth, let's reverse. So starting with big spirals, reversing the direction, and then slowly making them smaller. I don't know about you, but I can feel this. Again, we're using just the weight of our arms and gravity. And then when you get to the center, see if you can make them faster. Little circles. And let's set them down. All right? Just that, waking up those arms. Let's go ahead and inhale, both hands come up. And then exhale, let's bring them in front of us, this time palms up. And then we're going to tap shoulder, shoulder. Left and right, you decide how fast you want to tap. And then you can cross. So tap the opposite shoulder, but palms stay up and tap. So alternating sides, and then same side. Boop, boop. You can make the booping sounds totally optional. So you can see, you could do this seated at a desk. Last set. And last set crossing. Boop, 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 and boop. And set them down. Let's go ahead and shake those arms out. Ooh, shake out the wrists. Wonderful. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, hands forward. Let's roll over our knees and come to all fours. So all these poses that we often start out doing, all fours, downward dog, those all are increasing upper body strength. Right here, let's go ahead and just wake up the spine. Inhale, look up, belly drops, tailbone up, nose up. Exhale, round the back. Oh my gosh, that feels good. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Hopefully that feels good to you too. Notice the shoulder blades. Where do they go? You should feel a sense of them opening and closing as you push into the mat. And then notice the pelvic bowl. That tailbone. Notice how it points up and down. Tipping the whole pelvic bowl. The breath inhale is as we look up, and exhale is as we look back. You probably did it automatically because it's just what automatically usually starts happening when we do cat and cow. Fantastic. Come back to a level back, flat back. Then let's step each hand out one bit in front. So like a hand's in front of the hand. I don't know if that made any sense. Then let's walk the hands out a tiny bit, and then we're going to shift our hips forward. We're setting ourselves up for a modified plank, and then we're going to tuck elbows into the ribs and up, into the ribs and up. So we're not going out. Sometimes people call them yogi push-ups. It really engages the triceps. So just at however many feel right to you. Also notice you don't have to do a full push-up to engage the muscles of your arms, right? And then back to all fours, but this time reach your hips all the way back to child's pose. Dragging the fingers, dropping the forehead to the mat. And then slide forward, hips drop. Let's do another set. This time maybe move the hands back in a little by changing how far apart your thumbs are. We'll change the push-up. And again, I'm not counting because I want you to do however many feels right to you. That could be 1. That could be 2. That could be 20. I realized with all my biking, I haven't been paying attention to my upper body. And then back to child's pose when you're done without the number that felt right to you. And then come back up to all fours. This time we're going to tuck our toes and find that first downward dog. Bend the knees, belly to thighs, tailbone up, shake out your head. Bring your ears and your upper arms by each other and then pedal those heels to the back of the mat. Stretching the back of the legs, the arms, and you'll notice here that you're building upper body strength in downward dog. So if you're somebody with wrist problems, this is probably not the practice for you. Or you can modify. feel the letting go. Not resisting the pose. From here, we're going to shift to plank. Just shift, drop the hips, and back to downward dog. I want you to rock between those two poses, plank and downward dog. So with plank, drop those hips so that your body becomes a plank. Hence the name, that long line. Again, you get to decide how many you're doing. And meet me back in downward dog. And then we're going to look up and we're going to do something different because I usually have you step between your thumbs. I want you to take your right foot and step it up to the outside of your right hand. And then step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. So you look like this. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and drop the head and find our forward fold. So it's a slightly wide angled forward fold. And then we're going to step the left foot back and the right foot back to plank. And then we're going to step the left foot forward, the right foot forward, forward fold. And then the right foot back and the left foot back. And then the right foot forward and the left foot forward, forward fold. And the left foot back and the right foot back to plank. Last one, left foot forward, right foot forward, forward fold, but this time, go ahead and slowly roll up. Arms like coat sleeves. Oh, slight bend in the knees. As we come all the way up to standing. Well done. With our feet slightly wider than usual. Inhale, hands up. We're going to do the same thing up here, or similar. We're going to tip to the right. Now if you want to add a little more fun, you can shift the weight to the right foot. So go whoop. Back to center, to the left. Again, you can be here, or lift that foot. And back to center. And then with a prayer through the center, back to forward fold. Place those hands, again, between your feet. And we'll step left foot back, right foot back. And this time, we're going to go ahead and lower down. All the way to our bellies. And release the tops of our feet. Now, keeping your thumbs by your ribs, elbows back. We're going to slowly lift the chest and roll it down. 2 more times. So this one, purposely not using our arms. This is more back work. We're throwing them in there anyway. It can feel like you should be pressing, but that's not what we're doing here. One more time, cobra, and down. Go ahead and push back up through plank to downward dog. Feeling the magic of downward dog. From here, let's shift to plank again. This time, let's put the left knee down and put the right arm up and roll to the inside edge of that right foot. So it's a modified side plank. There is some weight here in your upper arm, your left arm. And then let's lift that right foot. You can look up at the right thumb. And then if you want keep the right foot up and turn back to put the right hand down. Turn both hips to level. And then let's go ahead and place right knee down. And step left foot back. And reach the left hand up. And then again, you can lift up both leg or not. Playing with core strength. Building a little strength in that right upper arm. So much going on here. You can play with where you focus your attention. Side wall, right, left thumb. And then drop the left hand, drop the left hip. You can leave that left foot back out, up there for a minute if you want. And set it down. Let's do a little spinal undulation right there. Wag the tail. And let's go back. Step right foot back, left foot back to get back to a full plank. And this time we're going to roll to the right, left hand up, and we're in a full side plank. You can always put that right knee down again. Notice there's a lot more going on with that right arm now. Again, you can lift that left foot if you want. You can put the hand over the head if you want. But you'll feel, you can maybe even feel some like wiggling in that right arm as that muscle works. Back to regular plank, and then the opposite side, right hand up. And we're going to keep lifting this right hip. So you notice when I put that foot up, my hip wanted to go down, so keep that right hip up. Building strength and stability in the upper body. Back to plank, drop the knees, hips back. Taking all the weight off her arms in child's pose. These child poses are just a quick break. Give ourselves some time off our arms. And then roll back up. Let's come into cat and a cow, reset. And then back to downward dog. And then let's take left foot outside the left hand. Actually, no, this time let's put left foot behind left hand, right foot behind right hand. Perfect. And then we're going to give you the opportunity to do a balancing pose in crow. So we're going to place the knees on the upper arms, almost to the armpits if possible, and then shift your weight forward. So now you may just want to feel that weight in your hands and just kind of rock back and forth. You may be able to lift one foot and then the other. And then I know there's some of you who can shift the weight totally, lifting both feet and pulling up through the belly. Once you're done with that, then drop the hips again. Place the heels back down. And lift the hips and roll on up. Nice job. Once we're back up here, let's inhale both hands up. And then we're going to do the tip again. And lift the left foot. And this time, see how far you can go if you're playing with that left foot. Woo. and go wee. You'll notice it's a variation of a half moon, right? You get all the way over here. And then stand up, both hands up. And put them down for a minute before I do the other side. Both hands up. Go ahead and play with the tip. You can keep that toe down, or you can play tipping, 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 and spread the arms wide. You don't need to be looking at me, just finding your edges. You may be falling. That's okay. I need a focal point, and then come back up. Well done. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, prayer through the center, hands to the earth. Let's hang here just for a minute in your basic forward fold. So much goodness here in forward fold. Crown of the head points down. You can decide so many things to do with your hands. Grab elbows, grab your big toe, slide your hands under your feet, hold the back of your shins. All kind of doing similar things, right? Then from here, whichever one you picked, lower your hips so that your thighs are parallel with the earth. Then lift the upper body, hands out so that we're in chair pose. And you'll notice that usually we're so focused on what's going on down here in our lower half that we forget. Notice what's going on in your arms, right? Holding our arms out at an angle, build strength in the arms too. Tuck that tail, keep that long line, and then back to forward fold. From here, you can step or jump back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Hold chaturanga. First time we've even held chaturanga. And then from chaturanga we can go to up dog. So up dog definitely is an arm strength. If you're doing the full version, you're balancing on the tops of your feet. You're lifting through your heart. Your chest kind of comes through the upper arms, but the arms are long and strong. And then from here, back to down dog. And we also don't usually hold upward dog, to actually feel that strength in the upper arms. So let's just do that again. Plank, hold, 3 breaths. Chaturanga, hold, that's that hovering pose for 3 breaths. Up dog or cobra, hold for 3 breaths. And back to downward for 3 breaths. We'll do the same thing again for 2 breaths. Plank for 2 breaths. Chaturanga for 2 breaths. Up dog for 2 breaths. Back to down dog. And now we'll do it with 1 breath each, which is more the rate we usually do it at, right? Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Sometimes we even do it faster, right? When we say vinyasa, you just go plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. That fast. So So sometimes it's fun to break it down. From here, walk your hands back toward your feet this time. Boop, 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 and roll it on up. I want to throw in some poses we almost never do. Right here in the middle. So I wanted to do some stuff with handstand. Handstand scare a lot of people. But one thing you can do, I don't know if I can demonstrate this well, but we're going to try. So we're going to stand against a wall and then take a step out. And then notice, we want about a leg length, because what we're going to do is then at that spot, we're going to put our hands down and we're going to and then step on the wall and make this L shape. And then you can lift one foot straight up with one foot on the wall, or the other foot. So it's a great way to build arm strength for handstand, but not be in full handstand. I always get dizzy. The other way is the more typical way. And I can remember getting yelled at as a kid for always doing handstands against the wall. But you can definitely put your hands about 8 inches away from the wall. Spread your fingers wide. And then just kick up. And then move your feet away from the wall. And just practice that way. There's a lot of different ways. The other way, coming back to our yoga mat. Let's see. Let me get you there. Be at the back of your mat. Hands come up. Forward fold. And then we're going to walk back out to that downward dog where we were. There we go. Now this one, if neither of those seem like an option for you, from your dog, you can bend your knees and just hop. It can be a tiny hop or a bigger hop to kick your butt. Or you can even start shifting your upper body over your hands for a handstand. But these kind of downward dog butt kicks are great arm strengtheners. So see if you can do about 5 to 10. And then we'll bend our knees and come to child. Because those little hoppy ones take a little bit as I get short of breath. And then put your forehead on the mat in child's pose. Now there's a ton of arm balancing poses that we can play with. Let's see. Maybe we'll throw another one in here, since this is the class to do it, right? But first, a few more breaths here. And then find our way back to that downward dog. Look up between your thumbs, walk, step, or hop, or jump to that spot. Bring your big toes together this time. Lower your hips again. Come up to chair. And this time bring your hands to your heart in prayer hands. And then let's turn to the right. Now from here, first we'll hold that for a few breaths. We're going to go ahead and squat down, lower our hips, and place our hands on the long side of the mat. And you'll notice that your knees now are stacked together and are against the left upper arm, and your hip bone is near your right elbow. So you can shift your weight over onto your elbows, and again, you might just kind of go up tip and feel that weight there, or you may be able to go all the way and balance, lift your feet and balance. And maybe you could even stick out one leg, the top leg. You could do different variations of this pose. And then come back. Actually, we'll just walk our hands back to the front. Come back to forward fold. Woo. And then let's roll all the way up. And pause here in mountain pose before we go to the other side. What are we resisting? Where can we let go? One more breath here in mountain pose, and then we inhale both hands up, arms parallel, and then we're going to reach the hips back, boop, 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 boop. Chair pose, prayer hands chair pose, tuck that tail, and then turn to the left, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And if you can, bring the prayer to the center of your heart as you look up at the sky. And then we're going to reach the hands down to the long side of the mat now on this side as we lower our hips and kind of balance on our toes. Balls of the feet, really. And then again, your legs should be stacked against the right elbow, and the hip should be by this left elbow. And you can play with tipping forward, or just again, shifting the weight. Maybe lift one foot, maybe lift both feet. Just explore and find your edges. When you're done, let's go ahead and sit down. Some other ideas. I want you to find a set of blocks though for this next thing that we're going to do. So, finding your blocks, put them on either side of you, and then let's stretch out our heels. Bring our toes up, and we're going to put a slight bend in the knees, belly to thighs, slide the hands down, maybe wrap them around the feet, or grab the edges of the feet, and then push those heels forward as you come into a forward fold. A resting pose. Pick a variation of forward fold that feels just right for you right now, where you can really let go. No resisting. And you may find as you hold it longer and longer, you can melt a little further. Or maybe not, maybe you want the opposite. You back out a little bit. Because there's too much resistance. And then roll on up. Now, we're going to put these blocks by our hips, and we're going to start just by pushing up so that, hopefully you can see that, the weight is on my heels, and I'm using my arms to lift my hips. So just start by doing 5 lifts and lower, and lift and lower, lift and lower. Now, let's try it again. right foot and lift and lower. And then the left foot, point to toe, lift and lower. And maybe, I don't even know if I can do this. Lift both. Definitely doesn't want to do that. So if like me, that's too much, let's practice this. So bring the feet, here I'll show you this way. I'm going to cross my ankles and then I'm going to lift. So I can do it that way. I can't do it with my legs extended. And what this is practicing for is when people jump through and jump back. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Good job. So just playing. So if we don't do these things, we never build the strength in our arms so that we could do that. Does that make sense? There's some other one. Let's do this one. There's one. Okay, I'll go ahead and show this one. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done it on one of these Zooms, but why not today? So I'm going to do it without the blocks because I don't think I've taught it with the blocks. Left leg is long. You bring the right heel up toward your body, and then we're going to take and we're going to act like this leg is a backpack strap. That's how I always think of it. And it's like I'm putting on this backpack strap. So the other way to think of it is to bring your right hand under the leg, like that. So, but the higher you can get it on your shoulder versus on your elbow, so you can do it down here on your arm, because then we're going to shift our weight and lift that left leg. But the higher you can get it up on your shoulder, the better. And then you shift your weight into your hands and lift the whole body. I guess you could do that with blocks. For me, it's actually easier on the ground. So anyway, again, play with these poses. And we'll try it on the other side. Hopefully I haven't lost everybody at this point. They're like, I'm doing that. Stretch out the right leg, point it, and bring this left leg up. And then you can slide this left arm through, or you can do my backpack strap idea. So it's over your shoulder. Then you place both hands firmly down, fingers spread wide, and lift your hips and point your toes. Interesting for me today. That side seems harder. What's up? And you may find the same thing. Oh, there we go. Anyway, playing with different poses. Okay, that was fun. We're starting to run out of time. Let's come back. Actually, I just want to do this pose. It doesn't have much to do with arms. We're going to do cobbler pose. But this time, bring your feet together and then slide them out so we have more of that triangle shape. Lift the crown of your head. I just need to stretch my hips and back. And then come forward. As if you're going to kiss your toes. So there's two ways to do this. One is with a more or less flat back. So you're putting your nose to your toes. The other way to do it is to round the back, to put the crown of the head into that space, the arches of your feet. Either way, see what feels right to you right now. Nice stretch. No weight in the arms. Just a big hip opener, stretching out the inside of the thighs. back up. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a hug right there. Open up the back the other way, wrap your arms around your shins and drop your nose. Now let's do the counter pose to this. Lift your head and place your hands behind you, fingertips point toward your hips. Spread your feet hip width, and we'll do reverse tabletop, lift the hips. So this is a good arm strengthening pose. So we can alternate this one with dropping the hips and sliding them back, but don't touch the bottom down and then back up. So because we did that strengthening, you should be able to engage the belly, slide the hips back and back up. Maybe your booty drags, maybe it doesn't. Alternating those poses. Maybe one more time. Reverse plank, and then let's set it down, and then let's give ourselves that hug again. Nice job. And we might, as while we're here, straighten out your legs. Again, put your hands back, and we'll do reverse plank. So I point my toes. Actually, I recommend you point your toes because you're going to try to press all 10 toes to the mat as you press into your hands and lift your hips so that your feet are flat on the mat. Sometimes it makes my arch go into spasm and I try to push all 10 toes down. Oh! Set it down, bring the toes back up, flex, and then let's do it one more time. Reverse plank. Look up at the sky. Oh! Yes, the arches of my feet rebel. And you know what? That is enough. Let's come to our backs. We'll roll on back. And we're going to start with that delicious massaging of the spine by moving the knees. Massage the lower back, especially rocking from one side of the pelvic bowl to the other, and then tailbone circles one way and other. And then let's squeeze both shins in at the same time. Letting go. No resistance as we slow down our practice. Legs up the wall, but without the wall or with the wall. Point and flex a little with the ankles, and then circles one way and the other way. And then reach both hands up, and we're going to touch the toes. A little ab work. The arms are reaching, but this does not take a lot of arm strength. It takes more belly, abdominal muscles. If you reach for the opposite side of the feet, you'll get more obliques, or the side muscles of your abdominals. Or if you reach right both at the same time to the big toe, you'll get right down the middle. You can play. You can go fast. Or you can go slow. And when you've had enough, bend the knees. Put your hands on top of the shins and squeeze it in. And go ahead and place your heels by your hips, knees point up, arms are flat on the mat. We'll move our arms with this. We'll tuck the tail and lift the hips and bring the hands over the head, palms up, and hold. And then roll it back down. This next one, I'm going to give you the option because this does take arm strength. Bring your hands by your shoulders, fingertips point toward the shoulders, elbows point straight up, forearms are parallel. And you can stay right here. Or you can press into your hands and feet and come to the crown of your head, like so. Or you can then use the arm strength and push up all the way to wheel, also known as back bend. And then come back down. So definitely takes arm strength to do back bends. And then let's bring those knees back up. And we're going to go ahead and spread those arms wide, palms up. And I want you to first just notice the entire arm, shoulder girdle, and hands relaxing, letting the earth hold the arms in this position. No longer doing anything. And then we're going to let the knees drop to the right. And let the eyes gaze to the left for the simple twist. And then let the eyes close. Letting go of resistance in this pose and in life. What wants to happen today? Feeling that earth hold us. A few more breaths here. And then bringing the knees to the center. Maybe a little rock there before you go to the other side. Eyes gaze to the right, thumb, knees fall to the left. Then let your eyes close. What wants to happen is such an odd question where most of the time we're like, this is what I want to happen, this is what I need to happen, this is what is happening. What wants to happen? How are we resisting that? Why are we resisting that? Can everybody get what they want? Three more breaths here. And then we're going to bring those knees back to the center. I'm going to do a little happy baby. Grab the outsides of the feet. Bring the knees into the sides of the ribs, armpits toward the shoulders. Shine the soles of the feet up to the sky. Maybe rock back and forth. Maybe you like to wrap your arms through and around the outsides of the feet. want to grab those big toes and stretch out through the heels. That feels pretty good to me. Just a little exploration here in Happy Baby with the different options. Maybe you want to do a half Happy Baby, half heel extension, pedal out to the sides. And back to regular Happy Baby. And then let's bring the knees together, ankles together, big toes together, bend the knees. Wrap our arms around them one more time, around the shins. Bring our nose up toward our knees. Give them a kiss, give it a squeeze. Be tight, tight. See how small you can be. Squeeze even tighter. Curl your toes, scrunch your face. Really tight. And then the contrast. Come all the way up to Shavasana. We bring our arms and our legs off the mat. And let some big exhales. Those cleansing, letting go breaths. As you let all of the earth, the mat, the floor support you. And with every exhale, you notice you melt a little more toward the earth. See if you can even recognize the muscles of your face moving toward the earth. Relaxing your forehead, the cheek muscles, your eyes. Deeply relaxing the shoulders, the upper arms, the lower arms, the palms of the hands, and the fingers. Relax the hips, the muscles in your pelvis, your buttocks. Your upper legs, your lower legs, your feet and your toes. You stay here in deep Shavasana while I mind the time. humanity is not defined by the evil done by a few. It is defined by the goodness done by the majority. Having faith in humanity and letting go of resistance. Now let's bring one hand to the heart, sensing our own humanity, and one hand to the belly, sensing our breath, our aliveness. Feel the rise and the fall. Recognize the sacred being, this kind human beneath your palms, full of love and goodwill. Reach those hands over the head and give yourself a stretch and a wiggle as you roll to your right side, resting your head on your upper arm, bringing your knees toward your chest in a fetal-like position where we always pause for gratitude. Gratitude for full moons, starlight, crisp air, or maybe like me, you already have flowers blooming, which feels odd. Grateful for all of it. And then when you're ready, pushing yourself up to that seated position, bring your hands to your heart. Press the palms lightly together, and we'll take those 3 breaths together. We inhale through the nose, and this time we make some noise. Maybe you want to wiggle. Make it an ooh, an oh, an om. Whatever sound comes out, know it is right. Inhale. One more time. Celebrating your own voice, whatever came out. That spirit in me honors that in every single one of you. Namaste. And thanks for showing up and spreading the love and the kindness and the generosity.